Hello, well we're in another strange corner of the workshop where I've got this nice old Jones and Shipman Arbor press. Dates from back in the days when it was pretty common practice to do a lot more work holding jobs in the lathe on a tapered mandrel. So these were used to press those jobs onto the huge variety of arbors that they'd hold in a workshop. And it's built like a little tank, nice useful little machine. It's not the biggest of these presses, but it's a nice size for my workshop. I've got a job for it tonight, pressing in some brass bushes. That's these, well, if I can find them on the camera, yeah, these bushes here, which are made for these headstock plates for the spring winder that I'm making at the moment. So these plates were largely made on the shaper, the actual form of them, and then the spotting of the holes and the boring and so on of these holes was done on the BCA jig borer that featured in a previous video. So I'm just going to park the camera up and talk a little bit more about these parts and the use of the arbor press. Right, hopefully that gives a tolerable view of it all. So these bushes to fit into those plates, and they'll carry this spindle, which is the working part of the spring winder. So top hat bushes, so that this flange here will act as an end float limit for the arbor, and this will just protrude slightly through the plate, and that'll act as a limit on the other side. Nice tolerance fit. Hopefully that will still be there after I've pressed the bushes into the plates. We shall wait and see. What I've done with these bushes, just to make my own life a bit easier, the first couple of mil or 1/10 of an inch or so of that is on a 2-degree taper, so it just starts in the bore in the headstock, and then the rest is sized. The holes in the headstock are bored to 24 mil on the metric BCA. I tend to work in thou when it comes to tolerances. I work to about 1.5 thou for a press fit per inch of diameter, and the larger diameter you creep towards a thou per inch. But these are 24 mil, so nearest diameter 1 inch. So 1.5 thou clearance onto 24 mil gives me 9.9 something or other, which is the side they're made to. That's almost academic, really. So what I'm going to do is get the plates set up on the, well, one at a time, set up on the arbor press, lube these bushes so that they press in more easily, and put all this down and get on with it. So first off, I'll need to set this up so that this can actually go right through. That will pass through, so just centre that plate up. You can adjust the position of the handle on this, so I'll set it down to rest and then it can be parked. Mark the side of the plate I want the bush to go in from, so that we don't have any embarrassing moments afterwards. Centre that up roughly. Bit of oil onto the bush. That round. Bush just sits in on that 2-degree taper. The intermediary piece, which I've probably hidden with my arm, intermediary piece just so that oops, I can set that in. And all being well, that will now press in. A moment of truth. And rather satisfyingly, that's gone in quite nicely. So park that up again. And you can see it just protrudes slightly through the plate. Just bring that up a bit and avoid kicking the camera too much. So hopefully it's still pointing in roughly the right direction. Oops, I mean, see the bush just protrudes slightly through, and the top hat is there, and oil smeared out quite satisfyingly. So on to the next one. A bit of oil again. Shaky hands. Roughly in the middle. And the intermediary piece, because the end of the arbor isn't quite the right size for these bushes. And another attempt to wind a bush in. Give a bit more leverage this time. And this one's slightly tighter. So, oh, crikey, that is tight. And that's fully home. Check. There we go. All fingers and thumbs again. You can see, hopefully, that is pressed in nice and true. And again, protruding. This one protrudes a little bit further. That is intentional. The other one will have a ratchet wheel pressed up against it. This one, excuse me, I just wanted a little bit more support for the arbor. Probably absolutely unnecessary, but there we are. These will be spaced distance apart, these two arbors, and that distance is predetermined by the length of this little ER collet spindle that I've got. And now you can see whether, it's going to be embarrassing if it doesn't fit, but see whether this still fits through. And indeed it does. A tiny little bit of play there, just enough room for an oil film onto the arbor. And that rotates quite satisfyingly. Very little play, and obviously once there's another bush supported and the other headstock at the other end, that play is going to be very, very minimal. Just be a nice rotatable spindle, which is what I was aiming for. So there we are. And for the eagle-eyed amongst you, lurking in the background, there we go, point at it, as a Denby No. 2 fly press, which has moved workshop with me 3 or 4 times now, and is still awaiting attention and being pressed into use. I do really want it working, but I just haven't had the time to get it into a working condition. So there we are. I hope some of this has been interesting, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.